And I'm April. April.
April, yes, yes. How are you doing, April?
I am doing well. As always, it is a pleasure to see you. So happy to see your smiling face
Oh,
today.
thank you. Yes. What'd you do this weekend?
Oh my goodness. Every now and then I will work on a weekend to help out a friend or a family member. And so I did that
Okay.
this weekend. hmm And so, yeah, so I was able to rest and work. So,
Good.
yeah,
Good.
hopefully
Good.
we're going to,
Good.
we'll be writing up an offer on the property. Um, I'm feeling pretty good
Wow.
about it. Oh, yeah.
Congratulations. And so gotta
Thank you,
manifest
ma'am.
that. Manifest it out there. Weekend was my birthday. My birthday was on Saturday and it was a long weekend. It was Memorial Day. So I just stayed in my room and locked my little self in there and became a hermit. And I just laid down and watched a couple things and binge book read and stuff like that. That's pretty all I did. It was a pretty interesting emotion I was going through, but I did some meditating. I was just trying to get my mental right. Sometimes we
Mm-hmm.
decompress and do all those great things. Well,
Yes.
for those of you who are new to our channel, I do want to see if you could like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you can press the notification button or bell, then you'll know when we are live. We typically try to do every Tuesday. We've been doing good. Actually, last week was our fourth episode. And then something weird happened. We're
Yes.
not even going to go there because I'm not putting that in the universe, but this, and we're going to try to keep ourselves sane. But sometimes the
Mm-hmm.
devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. I never let that bother me because I always know there's something out there greater on the other side. You know what they say? It's not what they say. It's everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, that means it's not the end.
Yes.
So I'm good. We're gonna push through and go break through. And so I'm going to start off
Yes.
today's quote. The quote of the day. Let me see what I got here. I got the little quote, the quotey quote. And the reason why this quote is actually cool is because it's about dressing. Let's see. All right, I
Mm.
had it pulled up and then I got rid of it. Yes. Let me see what I got here. It says, no matter how you feel, get up, dress up, show up, and never give up. I like that.
Love it. I love it.
Dress up, show up, and never give up. No matter how you feel, you get out of bed and you're not feeling a certain way, but you put on clothes, right? Did you hit your hair
Yeah.
did? Don't you feel better?
I know I do.
Yeah,
I absolutely do. And
I
there's
do
something about
too.
fixing
Yeah.
that bed in the morning too.
Well, let me tell you something. This is might be a little thing. I cannot leave my house if the bed is not made, the house
That's
isn't
it.
clean. I just have this fear. First of all, in my house, you can walk to the front door and see the whole house. You can look from the front of the house
Mm-hmm.
to the backyard and see the inside. So if you come to my front door, it is an open book. So you can't have your Cheeto socks smelling sitting on the
That's
couch.
it.
Can't have on the counter because whoever looks in there will see my entire home. The only thing they can't see is my bedroom. And if they went around back, they probably could. But I have no curtains. I don't have so I can't be walking out because you just never know. I don't
Yeah.
know. I just feel like you never know. What if I bring home a stray? I won't bring home a
Yeah.
stray, but you know.
It's okay. I know you won't. I know you. I know you know
But you
better
know
than
what I
that.
mean. I know,
Yeah.
but I'm just
But
saying. I just gotta keep your stuff.
well, you know what? I used to, just for me personally, it was something like especially being an entrepreneur, right?
Mhm.
I can't, it's like my creative juices are hindered if there's a whole bunch of
Mhm.
clutter around me. And that
Oh
was
yeah.
just
Well.
me going off of my personal vibes and how I felt. And then over time, I began to listen to scientific studies, and it's actually a real thing, So
A
even
cluttered house, a cluttered mind. Well, you see
correct,
how I live. I don't have nothing on the walls. I
me
have
either.
no pictures, paintings. All I got is a TV. I don't have
It's
color. I
okay.
don't have any of that. It's just pure, clean living. And I love that. That's why I don't have curtains because
Yes.
I just need that purity. Everything's white and
Yes,
fresh and clean, and when you come home, it smells good. Did you enjoy babysitting my home?
I did. It was just relaxing. It just was an extension of me and what I love. And it's like, how can you not relax in that environment?
Oh
So it
my
was
God.
just really
Anybody who
cool.
comes here,
Yeah,
oh my God. My girlfriend came here and she was like, I didn't hear a pin drop. I'm like, there ain't no pins dropping, honey. It's so
that's
quiet.
it. Listen, the pit, when the little people are not here, it's like that. You don't hear a pin
Yeah.
drop. And what I've started
Right.
doing when they come home from school, I tell
Yeah.
them the noise doesn't start until you get here. And then I started showing them how to.
Well,
I'm like, it's a big
kids,
difference when you're here. Whatever.
you can't expect to sit still at that age. You got to wait until they get older, so you can, because it's just like I used to use the bathroom. I know this is TMI, and they sitting outside the toilet. Like, what are you doing? Like, what? You
I
just got no
know.
peace. That was my sanctuary, and I was like thinking I was hiding, and they sitting outside the door with their fingers on the. Like, what are you doing? But
I
to like this separation.
yeah, yeah. So let's get on
But
to
I'm too
this
old for that.
topic
Let's get into it. Yes. So
of
did you see the
dressing.
video of the yeah, did you see the video of the real estate agent that was dressed a little differently? I'll say differently
I
because
did.
you one way, I'm one way, other people have their style, forth and so on. So when I saw that video, what did you think about that video, I should say? Describe what she was wearing. Uh,
You know what I do, I'm gonna answer this question in all honesty. I do intentionally make room for people to be themselves. I do
right.
believe in self-expression, but I also believe there's a time and a place for everything. And that includes the way we dress, right? The way we show
So let me
up.
ask you this. Let me ask you this. What is this notion nowadays, the millennial notion, whoever's X's, Y's, Z's, whatever they are, is you got to be yourself. You got to keep it real.
Because I guess because I'm not in that age bracket,
Hmm.
I guess what I could say is keeping it real to them is keeping it real. It means something differently to us
Hmm.
or someone else.
I think it
For
means
example,
keeping it wrong,
well,
real
for
wrong.
example, keeping it real to me, like we were talking about the cleanliness of a house, because of that's who you are and that's how who I am. That's keeping it real. But you have other
Right. Real
people, they're
clean.
keeping it real. Is stuff all over the place. And that's for them keeping it real. So
Right.
again, that's why I reduced it. I said it's a time and a place for everything. I personally
So,
do not buy in to dressing any old kind of way when
well,
you're
so what was
showing.
she wearing? Let's talk about what she was wearing.
When I saw it, I tried to just exit out of my mind. It was just that bad. So it
Okay,
was
so
an
I'll tell you what she was
individual.
wearing. It was like a
You
what,
sh-
a jumpsuit, right? It was
It
a one
was
piece
a
jumpsuit.
it was a sleeveless one piece jumpsuit, multicolors,
Very
cleavage
flashy.
hanging out,
Cleavage hanging
uh,
everywhere. Big boobs
arms.
too.
It was very it was very
Tatted, yeah.
revealing.
Hmm.
It looked like she was dressed up for
A backyard barbecue.
a backyard barbecue. Yeah,
Okay, so
it
we're being
really it
judgy,
did.
and
I'm
we're
not
being
being
judgy.
judgy.
I get
It's
it.
my observation. It's not. It wasn't being judgy. It was an observation.
Well,
I'm
it was
not
that bad
judging.
that you had
This
to
is
turn
what we
away.
saw. Yeah.
Okay, it was definitely different. We are old school and we subscribe to the fact that a real estate professional should look like a professional. Professionals wear tailored clothing, men wear their suit jackets, women
Hmm.
wear skirts are not high because think about this for a second. You're in LA, it's warm, you're cute, you had your breast
Hmm.
augmentation and whatever else you had going on, and you put on the skirt, and the skirt is pretty short. The boobs are popping. It's a husband and a wife, and it just happens that you're taking them upstairs, and of course you don't wear underwear because you have a thong on,
Right.
or nothing. And you're taking them upstairs, and the skirt is so short that you literally could see the hairs on your tail. I mean, like literally, it's that serious. If it was a bad shaving
Right.
day, and now the wife has to experience this with the husband. Chances are maybe she's not buying today because of the way one may be dressed, right? It's just not,
Exactly.
it's almost like you're not really selling houses in some cases. And with
Right.
this new age of Instagram and fake living and agents portraying themselves that way, those are probably not even successful selling agents, but they got a great TikTok channel or a great channel and two showings with a Mercedes or a Maybach out there and a rich guy with a boat, and you think, okay, she's doing it, then I may doing it. She's doing is making followers. That's how fake it is that people are doing things and following fake
Mm.
success. And they think that's where
Mm-hmm.
it's coming from when it technically isn't. And wants to get beat up on. I have been in places such as Florida. The guy shows up, he's got on some nice moccasin looking shoes with a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. He's gruff. He got the baseball cap and he's doing really great. And his attitude is wonderful. He's got the sunny tan, but he looks like he's cutting my grass. I was like, where's the, I'm looking like, where's the agent? Because I'm not used to it. So
Yeah.
geographically, we could acceptable in some hotter,
Right.
warmer weathers because you're not going to find a
Mm-hmm.
guy full on suit, although that's not true because I've seen it. But most times the attitude is we're boaters, we're out here on the water, we take pictures of our listings from the ocean and things like that. And so they're more or
Mm-hmm.
less, but I'll just be honest with you. I still think you can be casual cute. You don't have to be casual grungy. You can
It's
wear a
right.
nice polo shirt, right? Or is that Pakistan,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that brand is? You can wear those shoes and a nice pair of tailored shorts that look good where you don't come off as if you just jumped out of bed.
Right. Well, here's the thing, and I always tend to I'll speak from the commercial real estate angle because that's the circle
Mm,
that I'm in. When I go to networking groups, if that young lady or that agent were to show up in that environment like that, there is not one person in the room that would have taken her seriously. It,
right. So you think
and
that
when we go
it
out,
sends that you're not serious. Okay.
it definitely does. I don't think all you have to do is watch the room, right? You just watch
Yeah.
the room. And when you show up in a networking environment where people are talking about analyzing multi-million dollar deals and bringing things together to make that happen, walking around with something
So
revealing and you have a thong on, no one in that room, especially the men, are taking you seriously. They're taking you,
yeah.
see, back in the day, right? There were only a certain class of people that dressed like that. Now, I know we
Mm-hmm.
live in a modernized world where now anything goes, but you can say anything goes, but that does not take away from the fact that those individual, we're talking about the deep pocket, more senior individuals that have money, they're still thinking about back in the day. And there is a distinct difference in how a lady dresses and how a female that isn't looked upon as being a lady dresses. So you can be all that you want to be and be yourself all day long. But if the message you want to send to these individuals, that just have tons and tons of money and you want to be taken seriously by them and handling a real estate transaction, then you need to speak their language. You understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You can't
Oh no,
show
I get
up
it
any old
completely.
kind of way and think that you're going to be respected When in their mind, because they're old school, old money and old school, there's a distinct difference between a lady and someone who isn't a lady. And so when you
So
show up,
what do you say? But what do you say when somebody says you're just jealous because you don't have it? Like you don't have the big boobs and you don't have those nice legs and you didn't get your stuff augmented and stuff and your stomach snatched. So basically, you're just jealous or you're a hater because you can't do it.
no, well, that doesn't bother me at all because I look darn good for who I am, and it's all natural.
Go
So
girl,
I
T.
don't, right. And when you have that physical appearance and
Yes.
you've got this going on up here, that's a plus. So, because of
Right.
the
So
confidence
yeah.
that I have in myself, what you're showing, your physical nothing mean it. I'm going to give you your props if you deserve it. I am the type of I'm that girl that's like, you go, girl, you rocking that. I'm not a
Yes.
hater at all because I know what I'm capable of doing and I understand my value. So, no, I'm not intimidated by it at
Yeah.
all. But what I am saying, woman to woman,
Right.
lady to lady, I'm trying to school you on giving you information on how you should show up in certain rooms if you want to increase the your fair share of the market with the type of properties that you sell. That's all. So you
Well,
can
that's
look at it
fair.
from
That's
me.
fair.
Right. Look at it as me just dropping a golden nugget. Like it's nothing about
Right.
hating,
Right.
hating
Right.
at all. Yeah, not at
So wait a
all.
minute. So let's talk about this because back in the even on it was frowned upon for special in certain circumstances that people of color, particularly because they were the ones who, I guess, would be the majority in this case, they would wear dreadlocks and their hair was dreaded or knotted up or whatever you want to call it. That was frowned upon. You would never see a news anchor. You wouldn't see a lot of people in different spaces, whether it was a professional realm or whatever, even in a suit. That was frowned upon how you looked. And, our hair is natural. So kinky would be great. Matter of fact, dreads would be the easiest way to handle our hair. But that was
Hmm.
never accepted. And in looking at that, where that wasn't accepted, would you agree that maybe there's a lane for that type? Just like there's a lane now for people to wear their dreads and the lane for people to wear shorts and do those things. Would you say that that's a lane that people can actually find their tribe and their market share?
Yeah, but your tribe and your market share, you will definitely find that lane. But again, if we're talking about old money and seasoned money, it ain't there. So if you
Well, I
want
can
to
tell you
tap
this.
into that market, go ahead.
I had a young lady that worked with me. I'm sorry to say this, but
Hmm.
I have to say it. She was a little ghetto, rough around the edges, as we want to say. And she worked in the
Hmm.
areas where people were fitting some of that, that was her clientele. I
Hmm.
was like, I don't like, we're not equally yoked here, but she was able to
Yeah,
keep it real and garner that clientele. And they were all like, we made it out the mud, from started from the bottom, now we're here, kind of thing
yeah,
going. And I noticed that. And some of them were military, but they was just like, they like that realness, that rawness. But at the same time, I could still deal with that client as well. And I don't do the real raw. I'm going to be me, but I could
yeah,
still deal with that client and never change that character. But it was something identifying with certain people that they kind of went with, and she got into that with them, and she was in there on their level, in their lane. But in my
yeah.
opinion, I would not have gone in there with that. I would have stayed exactly who I am and still serve them. So,
And that's
you know what I
it.
mean? But there's some people want to mirror that, or they want to create a lane for themselves that says that they're the quote unquote the ghetto realtor, the luxury realtor, right? So we have different types of
Hmm.
realtors, and maybe that's
Hmm.
their niche per se. What do you think about that?
Well, for me, I primarily focus on me, right? And I am intentional about allowing people to be who they are as long as they don't disrespect me. Like we all have boundaries. So just
Mhm.
as I give you room and space and me respecting your boundary, I expect you to do the same for me. So I don't give a lot
Okay,
of
makes
thought
sense. Fair
into
enough.
it. I'm just focused on me, what I want to do, because like you, Queen, we're every one of us, we are
Yeah,
all CEOs of our own companies,
sure.
and everyone is not going to be the same. And so, yeah, you just need to determine what your why is, your vision,
Mhm.
your purpose, and be true to that.
That's
And
true. But
that's
we're not
really
a
it.
monolith. We're not a monolith.
Yeah,
Backgrounds, different socioeconomic.
correct.
We know that a real estate class is what, 3 weeks, you get a license. You don't even have to have a college degree. You could have come from the backwoods of who knows where. You could have been a foreigner. You could be anything. So, because there's no standard in real estate, there's no standard in each offer you do, I mean, contracts you do, every
Right,
deal you do, there's no real standard. It's sort of, you know, learn as you go, do as you know, thinking from your brain. Come up, there's no like, do it this way, this step one, step two, step three. It's pretty much unique to each individual transaction as it is to each individual person. And there's over 1 million real estate agents, right? One of the largest organizations
right.
besides teachers. And so the
Hmm.
standard has not been set that you do X, Y, and Z. Now, back in the olden days, if you worked for, let's say, and I hate to call names, Century 21 is old, they wore a jacket with a lapel. I don't know if you remember that lapel.
Yes,
When I was
I
20 something years
remember.
ago,
I
you knew
remember.
every Century 21 agent with that blue jacket and that thing. They were serious,
Right.
man, woman, child, dog, and everybody was dressed in that outfit, and they were serious about it, and they never ever
That's it.
broke, that type of. So
Character.
those things have changed. Yeah, those things have
Hmm.
changed. Agents started pulling off the jackets and wearing halfway buttoned up, and women started
Hmm.
wearing pants, and we used to wear dresses and skirts. When I went to meet a client,
That's it.
you knew
A
who the
dress
client
skirt.
was, and you knew who was the agent. Now I
Nowadays, you
don't
don't
know
know.
who's who. I
Hmm.
don't know who's who, and I'm gonna tell you so much how they know. I went into a house one time with a client. I happen to be of color, as you can see, and they were
Yes.
actually Caucasian. And we went in there,
Okay.
and the agent never told me about the alarm. I went in there, opened the door. Here comes the cops knocking on the door. I'm like, oh. And he goes, "So you're the agent, right?" And I'm thinking to myself, why am I going to be the agent? Why can't I be the client?
It's the
He
way
said,
you were
"Because
dressed.
dress. But I was like hoping he could
Absolutely.
get the older folk. But I was kind of glad that they was with me because we didn't go down. I would have been pinned to the ground. I was
Absolutely.
so glad those people were with me.
Listen,
I said, "Them white folks saved me, Lord Jesus." But anyway, the agent had to get on the phone and say
you're
she made a
funny.
mistake. She didn't give us the code. Hey,
It's so
listen, you got to
funny.
have a good white friend in your pocket. You don't never have
Listen, a couple of them.
a couple of, that's right. Like I said, my best friend is white. Her name is Kim. I ain't lying, y'all. I swear to God.
And I know her.
But and you know that's right. So it's like it's everybody has their own tribe and what they want to attract. So if you're going to dress a certain way, just know that that may be what you may attract what you might not want, or you
Correct.
may attract what you do want. I don't know.
Hmm.
If you're going to look a certain way, people out here will judge. I don't care what anybody says about keeping it real and being who you want to be. That's cute,
Yeah.
but people do still judge in
Hmm.
these times, even though we act like they don't. They do. How you look, what you say, how you speak, your verbiage, your language, your education back there, your how you smell, your shoes,
Hmm.
those things are looked at, and people will. Not even that. I had a guy I referred an agent. I love her to death, and I referred her to a guy, and he said, "Hey, I like her, but she ain't got no personality. Like she's not really on her. She's not in her. She's not on her stride. She's not in her game. She's not." And I was like, "She's a really
Mm.
good agent, but." If you're dealing with me, I'm the go getter. I'm the
Yeah.
work until I can't, when eyes closed are my hours. And if they're looking for someone who I refer them to, they want them to mirror my personality, which is very difficult to do. I'm not gonna, no one's gonna have the same sort of personality, but I'm a go-getter,
Mm-hmm.
and that spirit in me is something you can't teach. It doesn't matter. Some people are more laid back. They might be going go-getter, but they don't show it because they might be laid back. You know what I mean? And then you
Mm-hmm.
have some
Mm-hmm.
people who don't know how to dress at all, right? We didn't get to that part. They just don't know how to
Yeah.
dress. They were not getting the classes or the courses. They don't have money. They're a new agent. They just came from their other job and they used to dress, used to work for Target. So they got the, the khaki pants and the red shirt. That's
Yeah.
all the clothes they had. And, but here's what
Mm-hmm.
I will recommend if I want to tell you. First store, get a good jacket, get two, a black
Yes.
one, maybe a blue one, get a white shirt, even if it's a cami for a girl, a guy, you can get a
Mm-hmm.
$10. And people always say they didn't do stuff. That's not true. I've never seen a
It's
crackhead who's gonna
possible.
crack.
You
They
can
get it
get
right.
it. Yes.
It's right. They
Mm-hmm.
get it.
Mm-hmm.
So those are things, and then get you a nice skirt if you need to, and make sure your behind is covered because some of us have rumps depending on who you are, where you come from. You get it from your
Right.
mama. So just get those things and add a pearl. Right? These you can get for $1,
Oh, I'm
literally.
telling you,
Add a
pearls will
pearl.
take you a long way, won't
Take
they?
you. It'll
It
turn
just
day to
dresses
day. Right?
everything up.
Dress
Hmm.
everything up all the time. And everybody's always used to say I was dressed up, and now I realize it's the darn pearl. I've been dressed
Yes, yes,
so down, real simple 20-year dress or a skirt, and they like, you always dressed up, and it was the pearl. I never
it
got
was
it
the
until
pearls.
now, like literally, it was the pearl. So pearl will
Yes.
dress it up, and that's really all. Make sure your nails are manicured and your feet are done right, or your shoes are, look good and they don't have scratches
Hmm.
and scuffs on them. And I really feel that's what you really need. They don't have it. We do, da, 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 blah, blah, blah. Those are excuses. You can show up professional
Yeah.
as long as you look clean and your clothing are clean. And I'm gonna tell you, blazers don't get washed all the time. It's that cami, wash that. The blazer's good. Just keep throwing that over it, and nobody will know the difference. You're
Hmm.
not meeting the same client every
Hmm.
day. Now, once you meet the client and you're comfortable, the home inspection, you can dress any which way because you're at the home inspection. And I will tell you this, and no one
Right.
remembers
First
this about me.
impressions. Yeah, first
That's what's
impressions
important,
is
right? Once you, yeah,
means a lot. Hmm.
very, very important. So I don't know if you
Yes.
remember this, but I wore a baseball cap and girls my entire career. The same baseball cap and the same shirt. And I never
Hmm.
looked dressed down. I'll have to send you a picture because I used to think about that. I was
Oh
wearing
no,
my
I've
brand.
I've I've seen it. I've seen it, and that's
I
it.
looked
But
dressed up.
when we talk about different the way we dress, right? One moment here. When we talk about the way we dress, it's your presentation, right? And it's also the
Hmm.
quality of the fabric. All of
That's
those
correct.
things
I'm
make a
blinked out.
difference.
It
Right. It
does.
makes a
I
difference.
showed up, and the first thing they said was, "I love that! Oh my god! I got you! Can I get a shirt?" It
Absolutely.
was always like that. I didn't have on the suit jacket. I wasn't wearing,
Hmm.
I just wore slacks, nice shoes, but the t-shirt and baseball hat, as down as that can look on some people, it looked dressy. The red, blue, tone
Yes.
up. And no one ever thought it was like unprofessional. Matter of fact, they asked for it and it was branding. So if you're a brander,
Well,
you may be able to
go
change
ahead.
things up. Am I right?
Well, not only that, what made a difference too was when you did show up, your pants weren't all wrinkled and crumbled up. Neither was your shirt looking like you just had it ball lying in a pile of clothes and you just yanked it up and
Gotta
threw
get
it on
polyester.
and
Gotta
walked
get
out the house.
polyester.
Right. Your hair was, together. It looked like you took
Mm-hmm.
your time to wash your face. Like those things, grooming. I mean, it'll take you a
Yes,
long way. It's the presentation,
it does.
how you show up.
Yes,
And here's the most important thing. If you want to be taken seriously by
seriously.
others, then how you show up matters. Like you said
Also, I
earlier,
want
Queen,
to add
go
this.
ahead.
To add this, and I know it sounds crazy, but I have to say it. Who you are matters as well. You may not get a pass depending on who you are. So you have to be
Hmm.
mindful of who you are. And
That's
that
it.
particularly in certain spaces, how you show up, one group may have a better opportunity just because
That's it.
you you might not get a chance because of who you are. And I think that's so important. And I'll just say it because I know I can say what I want to say, how I say it, when I say it. Y'all can be mad if you want to. If you are of color, you may not get the same treatment. That's the bottom line. You show up, you don't look right, you don't speak right, you're trying to get $1 million deal, you're trying to work with these people, you sound like you just came out of bed, like the back I was on that video. I would never let her represent my pinky toe, more or less anything.
Yes.
And she might be a darn good negotiator. She might be one of the best in the business, but we can't get past
Right.
the loud, sleeveless, titties dropped outfit, belly protruding, everything out, tatted up. I was shocked. I thought it was a spoof. When I saw it and I sent it to
Right.
you, I thought it was a
Well,
spoof. You know
I
how sometimes yeah,
yeah, I had to look at it again because I thought it was a joke first. And I was like, oh
right.
no. I mean, you're laughing. I thought it was a joke first. And then I
Me
looked at it
too.
again.
I
I was
thought it was
like,
a spoof.
oh my gosh, she's really serious. But see, here's the thing. Um, I wanted to go back to what you mentioned before about what about the individual who says, you're just hating on me. I'm going to share a story that explains why I don't hate on individuals, especially younger women. I remember being in my 20s. I remember going into corporate America and looking to more senior women, expecting them to give me guidance and show me different things. But what I got instead was they looked at me as their competition or as a
A threat.
threat. And it was very disheartening as a female, a woman in my early 20s, expecting I'm going out into the world and I'm looking to more mature women to be my guides, to be my mentors, to help show me how to navigate this path. And their response to me was someone was being in high school. It was such a disappointment and a letdown. And I truly believe that God shows you things
Yeah.
so that when you see it, you know how to respond differently. And so, for that very
Mhm.
reason, when I am sending a message out to young women saying, no, 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 you don't want to show up in certain areas or rooms dressed a certain way, it is because I'm trying to mentor you. I'm not trying, I am. I'm mentoring you. I'm passing down information that you can use. I'm helping you navigate a course or a path. So there's no hate whatsoever, and it comes from a place of being so disappointed as a young woman in my 20s when I looked to more seasoned women to show me the way.
Well, that's
It was it
unfortunate.
was it was a
That's
letdown.
very
So
unfortunate that
yeah,
even happened to you. I just feel like
yeah, and it happens all the time.
yeah, I just feel like I want people to really focus. If you're especially a new agent, that just because someone has their titties out and they're doing all this, gyrating and doing whatever they're doing, um, if that's the way they want to conduct their business, that's fine. I'm not saying they're not gaining attention because I'll be honest with you. If you have a double D's and a short skirt and a thong between the see-through outfits and men can enjoy that a lot of times, or women nowadays, everybody's fluid. Um, a lot of times it gives a lot of
Mhm.
attention and the attention seekers are getting the attention, and when they get that attention, other people who are younger or maybe who are not as successful may think, okay, I have to do that in order to get attention. I always say a written note goes a
Mhm.
longer way than a text. Wearing the right clothing and being
Yes.
conservative will go way longer or way better than someone who's got their new augments out and everybody can see it. Or maybe I should go try it. I would go
Yeah.
and put me on some new things and get a good push up on, act like I got my stuff and start flaunting around. See if I pick up a client. I'll let you know.
Well,
No, that's not me.
to be honest, I know if I did, I wouldn't have a problem with it. In other words, it would work. I'm sure it would, but I'd rather show up differently because I
Yeah.
am a lady and
And
I
is it
like to
sustainable?
move in class.
Yeah, is it
Right. And
sustainable? Do you want to be that
it's a
bimbo?
time,
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to
right.
be
It's
bimbo?
a
Do you want
time
to
to
be
let your hair down.
known for that? Is that what you want to be known for? The BBL
Right.
realtor.
Right. Yeah.
The BBL
And when it
realtor.
comes to strong negotiations, but wait, but when it comes to negotiating contracts and
Hmm.
deals, right?
Yeah. Well,
When
look.
people are talking about the numbers, ain't nobody thinking about your cleavage. Either numbers are making sense or it ain't.
Well, you know what? Everybody has their own way of doing business. We are, like you said, our own business. We're independent contractors. You
Yes.
can do as you choose. No one is going to tell you what to do. Your hustle becomes your income. How you do
Yes.
it is totally up to you. This has been a very interesting conversation. I'm sure there's other people that have, things they want to add. I'd love to people because April and I, we're basically
Yes.
here to give our version, our side, our opinion, our lens, our viewpoint, and that doesn't mean it's the viewpoint of everybody else. So we love for people to add to the conversation because we
Correct.
don't know everything. We're just here to share how we feel. We are old school, I'm not gonna lie. We'll go back 20 what it was like, and I'm still weird about showing up in a jeans
Yes.
sneakers or some shorts and sports, and I just don't want to show up in a tennis skirt and tank tops to see my client. But that's just me. And April and I just happen to be conservative, so we want to thank each and every person that tuned in
Right.
today. We want to ask you to share, subscribe, and also hit the notification bell. We try to be here every Tuesday if we can. We really, really appreciate each and every person that has tuned in. And like I said, if you have questions that you want to send us, we have been having lots of responses with the different types of questions. We have so many topics because there's so many questions that need to be
Yes.
answered or questions that are questions. This business, like I said, is so multifaceted. So we don't know everything, but we do love your questions. If you want to send us an email at queenandapril@gmail.com, we will take those questions and we'll go ahead and put it in rotation. And if you ever want to join the conversation live, please let us know as well. We'd love to add as many people as possible who want to give their respective
That would be great.
opinions, and that is amazing. So we want to sign off for now. I want to thank each and every person. I'm Queen and
April.
April.
Q&A with Queen and April.
Woo!